You have to lean into your dark feminine energy if you don't wish to walk around this world, this patriarchal, hyper-capitalist world, as prey. And as goddesses, we are able to do so by integrating huntress energy and sage energy. We all have feminine energy and we all have masculine energy, but I'm noticing something quite insidious in the messaging that is targeting young women right now. And it is a stark antithesis to advice that actually wants to see women win and own their agency in a world that tells us to subjugate ourselves, and in a world that tells us to aspire for second-class citizenship when we are called to be great. I talk about all of this in my first book, Force of Nature. Definitely check it out. It was in writing that book that I engaged in this reclamation of my sovereignty, but also that integration, that necessary integration of my shadow side. You know, the shadow side, it's very interesting because so many of us as women, we are told that when we are being strategic, it's wicked to be so calculating. How dare you, as a woman, be strategic and use your gifts and your knowledge and your intuition and your charm and your charisma to get ahead without exploiting people. How dare you do that? And I'm here to cheer you on as you do it, because you need to have inner harmony of all the parts of yourself in order to really master who you are. There is the part that so many women forget, the action, the divinely aligned action. That is the masculine push. That is the strategy. That is the sitting down to not only plan, but to execute. That is the part that says, you know what? There's a part of me that wants the money, the power, the glory. Hello, Lana Del Rey fans. Yeah, am I right? But seriously, there is a part of woman, every single woman, whether or not she wishes to acknowledge it, that needs to act, that needs to go into the crevices of her soul and see the parts where she has been wounded, the parts where she needed to sharpen her claws to defend herself, to defend her agency, to reclaim her sovereignty, to protect that softness within. There is that part of herself that needs nourishment as well. And I like to call it the dark feminine. And women, as a collective, we are all at a crossroads where it's like, hey, listen, the dark feminine is saying, how long will you have a high tolerance for misogyny? To African women, Black women, it is saying, how long will you be an agent of misogynoir against yourself? How long? How much longer will you look at the parts of yourself that are needed to advance humanity forward and ostracize them and subjugate them and silence them, all in the name of being a nice girl, all in the name of being a nice woman? The point of this video today is to remind you that it is okay to integrate those darker parts of yourself. Your shadow side, to me, is just the part of you as a woman that society doesn't like to acknowledge and that we hide away. But your dark feminine side, what it does is it goes and it takes that part of yourself, it cradles her and says, hey, I got you. I sharpened the claws, and this is what we're gonna do. That intuition, that charm, that strategy, that divine feminine knowing, that God consciousness, goddess energy, here's how we're going to use it to get ahead. We are going to align with the light by integrating the lessons from those darker moments in your life, and you are going to come out stronger, victorious. I always think about one of my favorite Greek mythology stories that I read as a child about Persephone, and how half of the year she is in the underworld. And it is during that half of the year that Demeter, her mom, is super sad, and the world experiences this barrenness, this winter, this longing for spring. And then Persephone, she escapes Hades' grasp and she comes back up for the other half of the year. And that is when everything blooms. But Persephone is still the same Persephone that was in the underworld. She's just in her spring and her summer and her blooming essence. And I think Persephone is a perfect example, a mythological example, albeit, of how we are able to integrate those light and dark parts of ourselves into power, into glory, into God consciousness as a woman, into goddess energy. Another goddess deity that I love to think about is Oshun. She's also a perfect example of how to master feminine rage and have it integrated into your passion, into your expression, your sensuality as a woman, so that you are not harming yourself or others, but you are able to transmute and alchemize anger and rage into beauty, into impact. I'm tired of seeing women who are meant to be great shrink themselves, play small, because they are afraid of the part within themselves that wants to roar, the part within themselves that can actually show up to the fight, but in her own unique way. We are not afraid that we're incapable. Our greatest fear sometimes is actually our own power. The power that you have within you as a woman. Wow, it's just insane actually. The power that we have as women, when you look at the earth, it mirrors it back to us. The power to create life and bring beauty into the world, to sprout powerful oaks, trees, flowers, whole ecosystems. The power to destroy. The power to burn that shit down. And there are systems that are crumbling right before our eyes. And there are bad actors trying to keep these paradigms alive. And a lot of women are confused right now. They don't know what to do. Because we as a collective have been conditioned to shy away from that which makes us strong. We're told, oh, that's not feminine. Hello, huntress energy, sage energy. These are feminine, powerful feminine archetypes. When you read of the story of Cleopatra, Cleopatra was strategic. Cleopatra was calculating. Cleopatra knew how to protect her sovereignty and her agency without sacrificing what made her a woman. To be a woman is not synonymous with being weak or with being prey. I'm talking about that inner prowess that keeps you moving and going forward, that keeps you resilient, that alchemy that only a woman can really understand. That is what I am talking about. Do not give that away. Do not give up that power. Protect it. Figure out what inside of you, in the darkest crevices of your being, what wishes to be brought to light. It may hurt, it may feel scary, it may feel uncomfortable, but it is that part of you that is so integral to your expansion. That's all I want for you. It's something I've experienced for myself, and it is a beautiful deconstruction, reconstruction, cycle of death, birth, and renewal, a reawakening. The cyclical nature of saying goodbye to that old version of yourself so that something new can sprout up. It is true alchemy. It is that goddess energy, really. And I wish for every woman to reclaim that for herself, irrespective of what society's deceit tries to program you with. day in and day out. I'm talking about that real spiritual knowing of who you are and that thorough integration of your light and your dark, your yin and your yang, so that you can be the woman that you were meant to be in this lifetime. And in my new book, I Am Alare, I share some of the sacred declarations that I have used through some of the toughest battles of my life to stand tall and protect my own sovereignty, my agency, and to ultimately cultivate a brave heart and a sovereign mind. If you're interested in doing the same, I highly encourage you to check it out at the link in the description at my website, www.alarelifestyle.com. You can find the book in the publications tab, where you can also order my first book, Force of Nature, which is available in print. This second book will be available first as an ebook, and the print edition will be coming later, but I felt really compelled to release this publication at this particular juncture in time. I am so happy to have you here. Thank you for listening, and I'm sending you so much love and light. Bye.